his best cards, Elvish Archdruid, and now Andrew wants to shuffle more, which makes sense, because that was a very simple cut after seeing where the Archdruid was. Not saying anything, but it wasn't really as randomized as Andrew was hoping, so I definitely understand that. It looks like it's going to be a keeper from Andrew. It has 3 lands, a Heritage Druid and a Dwynen's Elf, and this could be... Now I understand Dwynen's Elf. It is pretty good with a turn 1 Heritage Druid. You get to start making 3 mana on turn 2 immediately, so I get that. And this is the reason that I wanted to see what it looked like, because I completely understand it. And it looks like he's going to do that into a Kitchen Finks. He's going to put a lot of bodies on the table. I like his style also. You don't even crack the fetch, you go right in. I believe he's going to get a Temple Garden, eating 3, going to 17. And he's going to definitely cast Dwynen's Elite, which is 1 and a green. And when it comes into play, if you control another elf, put a 1/1 green elf creature into the onto the battlefield. It is a token that comes in, but either way, it's a card that will give you 3 elves to use with Heritage Druid to cast your Elvish Archdruids, your Kitchen Finks, a bunch of other elves. And he does just that. And it looks like he's going to just run out of Kitchen Finks, going up to 19. So Andrew's going to be at 19 to Brandon's 20. Brandon's on Esper Gifts, and Cody is on Elves. Cody or Andrew, I call him by the same name, either one. Yeah, Standard actually was here this week. We only had like 6 for it, and then they all decided to go ahead and play Modern because that's what everyone else did. So yeah, next week Standard will be on the stream, I believe. Brandon looks at his hand and is trying to think of the best thing to do. If he has any kind of Wrath effect, he's probably trying to decide the best way to stay in this game and not just die. Which right now, Cody isn't necessarily presenting him with lethal as he draws what I believe was a Path to Exile. I think that's going to be a second Heritage Druid. Yeah. Heritage Druid comes down, he's probably going to attack with the Dwynen's Elite and the Kitchen Finks, and leave up the 3 elves in the land to do Collected Company. So, 4 damage, 5 damage is going to come through, and Brandon's just going to take it down to 15. And that should be a pass from Cody, as I can't imagine he's going to just run it out there right now, as he doesn't actually have to play another card the rest of this game. He cracks the fetch and just lets it happen. He doesn't respond with a Collected Company. That's a little surprising, actually. I guess a Dispel or a Spell Pierce, or... Yeah, I think that's pretty much the only 2. Stubborn Denial would have stopped it, but I doubt that Brandon's playing that. But alright, can you guys not hear me? I'm actually not sure. If there's no sound, please let me know so I can work on that and get it fixed. I just now saw Teespring, I just now saw your comment. So please let me know if you all can hear me. And Brandon's going to look like he grabbed a Plains, and he's going to anticipate in his main phase. And a Collected Company is going to come down. And if we see an Elvish Archdruid, that should be all she wrote. And we don't. We see Eternal Witness, though. That's pretty good. Eternal Witness and a mana guy. Awesome. Not sure who you are, Onslaught VQ, but thank you. Anticipate's going to resolve. Oh, okay. Yeah, it didn't even show up on my chat until I opened up the Twitch page. Then I saw it there. That is quite true, but if you can hear me, or if you don't comment saying anything, then I know that you can't hear me and I'd start to fix it. Looks like Lingering Souls is going to come down. It's going to put a target Doctor Doom and another target Doctor, which is strange, into play, since they both fly. And he was looking very hard for a Elvish Archdruid or a Azuri Renegade Leader, but didn't get it. So he's just going to attack with team, make Brandon block. Brandon doesn't currently have a black source, so unless he has it in his hand and is saving it, he's not going to be able to flash this Lingering Souls back. And he's going to take 6-7 after he took a fetch, so he's going to go down to, I guess, just 10, unless... Oh, yeah, he chumped. That's right. So, yeah, he's going to go down to 10. Andrew's going to pass. He still has enough to collect a company again. He can do that to force Andrew to... or to force Brandon to counter it. And he has to counter it, essentially. And that resolved. We're going to see it grab an Elvish Mystic and a Heritage Druid. These are the worst collected companies that I have seen. I guess they're not as bad as Whiffs, but it's still not great. Andrew's going to untap all of his permanents, which are very plentiful now, and draw an Eternal Witness. He could just try it again and really try here. And he might just swing team. And I don't hate that play. Or you could say enter attack step. Oh, just attacks and Brandon concedes. They're going to game 3. I don't have the things marked this time, so I'm going to have to do that. But right now it is a 1-1 split in games. They're going to shuffle up and... Andrew was on the play that time, so it's safe to assume that... Or, sorry, Cody. I need to just write his name as Andrew. I never call him Cody. I was introduced to him as Andrew, and so I never called him anything else for a long time. So I'm going to stick with what I know him as, because I'm going to keep saying it that way and say Andrew. So Brandon will be on the play since he lost that. It's almost a guarantee. And we are in the 4th round of 5, and after that we'll have a top 8. I'm not sure if they will play, split, or etc., but if they play, you better believe that as long as it is before midnight, we will have at least one of those games streaming for you. No, see, it's not important. Cody needs to start at 0, because he's playing elves. So yes, thank you for that, as I would have forgot to write it. Now I'm just going to mess with this. We're in game 3. I'm not going to leave these 1-1s up there. We don't need that. Yeah. Looks like Elves is maybe keeping it. Brandon definitely mulliganed. It looks like he's going to keep his. I think I saw a Heritage Druid, a collected company, and like 3 lands. I'm not sure of the other cards in hand. It looks like a Llanowar Elf and a Azuri, maybe. Is that a Tectonic Edge? This is a awkward mana hand. As long as the Mystic lives, he should be fine, though. Fledgestrand's going to come down for Brandon. That is certainly going to be end of turn, in face sacked, or in step. This week I might be able to actually show you all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Shuffle that I promised last week, but unfortunately I don't have any cards over here to do it with. So, yeah, never mind, ignore me completely. Andrew is going to play a Heritage Druid after he cracks his Windswept Heath. He's probably going to take 3, if I had to guess, to get a Temple Garden. And let's see if Brandon goes in and cracks his. He just keeps it. Mystic Gate's going to come down. So in order to get that Mystic Gate active, he's going to have to use that Flooded Strand to get some kind of mana source. Whether it is a Plains, an island, or a Hallowed Fountain, or even, well, Mistveil Plains. I doubt he is playing Mistveil Plains or the island version of that land from Shadowmoor block. But there's not too many things that you can actually grab with Flooded Strand that's in Modern. A one attack is going to be good, knocking Brandon down to 19. Not 219, just regular. He's going to follow it up with a Llanowar Elf into a cracked fetch land down to 18. For probably water... Oh, he's going to untap a Watery Grave, I think. Probably killing the Llanowar Elf. Nope, Godless Shrine. He's going to anticipate at the end of turn, using the white from the Godless Shrine to filter into the Mystic Gate to either make blue-blue or white-blue. Mystic Gate is one of the lands from Shadowmoor block. I don't really think that was the block. I think that was all part of Lorwyn. But just in case, I'm going to say Shadowmoor block. So the Shadowmoor and Eventide sets both had lands that did that for each color combination. You can either tap it for a colorless or pay either of the colors it produces to get any of the two combination you want. So, like for example, Graven Cairns. You could tap it for a colorless, or you could put a red or a black into the land to get red-black, red-red, or black-black to your mana pool. There was one of those for each of the color schemes, and the one that Brandon has in play is at the bottom of his land base, and that is the blue-white one called Mystic Gate. Right now he has Render Silent mana up, if you're paying attention for that counterspell, which if you are, not sure why. He also has Undermine mana up, but that one is not legal, and I would call him a cheater if he played it. But he is not playing it. He plays Inquisition of Kozilek, and that card is probably going to resolve. I can't imagine that he has any answers to it. We're going to see a Path, 2 Kokos, an Azuri, and a Gavany Township. The card he wants to take probably is Gavany Township. The card he's going to take with Inquisition is probably I assume the Path, just so he can try to get Elesh Norn. But it is not looking great with double Collected Company, and he doesn't have a counter that I can see. He has a Drown in Sorrow, though, in that card. If he draws a Black Source, oh, buddy, he is back in this game 100%. And Andrew drew Nettle Sentinel, and that was quite a good top deck. It lets you do shenanigans with Heritage Druid and possibly just go all in and play 2 Collected Companies this turn, actually. Because you'll have 1 mana up from the 3 plus the... yeah. So you use Heritage Druid, tap all 3 elves, and the Gavany Township to get 3 mana. Nettle Sentinel untaps from the Collected Company trigger. Then if you get 2 elves, as long as it's 2 elves, you can do it again and collect a company again. So Andrew, if he taps out, will be able to collect a company more than likely twice, unless like he gets Eternal Witness, nothing, or Eternal Witness and a land or a mana guy. Otherwise, as long as he gets 2 elves, he will be able to do some crazy shenanigans. Crazy shenanigans! And those are always the best kind. They're the most entertaining to watch. Like, for example, right here, he's going to cast a Collected Company, untapping his Nettle Sentinel. That's just going to resolve. Brandon did not get... Yeah, there's an Eternal Witness, a Nettle Sentinel, a Kitchen Finks, Cord, and an Elvish Mystic! He did it! If he wants, he could collect a company again this turn. He is passing up on an Eternal Witness, though, so it is pretty difficult to do that. I do think you... Well, I'm surprised he didn't grab Nettle Sentinel, honestly. Maybe it's not that great, but, you know... Anyways, he's going to respond to the Eternal Witness trigger, it looks like. I'm not sure how, but